Students, happy and good morning to you all. I hope all is well. Welcome back to the class on commercial applications. I'm glad to help you learn the following objectives in today's class. Let me list out the learning objectives for you children for today's class. First one, classification of industries. Under that, you're going to study classification on the basis of technology, on the basis of size and amount of investment. Second one, meaning and role of commerce, meaning and role or significance of commerce. Under that, you're going to study definitions of commerce by two important people, Professor James Stephenson and Professor Noel Branton. Next, functions of commerce, 6 points. Then, branches of commerce, trade, foreign trade. Then we can have the recapitulation, taking up the review questions. Children, let us move on to the next unit now. Industries. It's another important unit, children. Please note down. Before that, there is a flow chart giving you the scope of business. The flow chart is also called as business tree structure. I've taken a part of it here. In the text, you have the classifications and sub-classifications given. So you should understand that it's well given in the text, children. Let us go through the flow chart a little later. It's almost summarizing point. Now we move on to the important concept called industry. Industry is nothing but group of businesses or manufacturers. It is derived from the Latin word. Industry is derived from the Latin word industria. Please note down this, children. Industria, I-N-D-U-S-T-R-I-A. So industria in Latin means group of businesses or business entities or business establishments or manufacturing companies. Group of manufacturing companies, group of businesses put together is known as industry. Let's go on to the text meaning of industry. Industry refers to the manufacturing production activity concerned with the conversion of raw materials into finished goods. So you must understand that, children. Unless and until the raw material is converted into finished goods, it cannot be considered as product or commodity or goods or articles. So, industry refers to the manufacturing production activity concerned with the conversion of raw materials into finished goods. Please add another point, children. Through the use of labor, capital and other resources. Through the uses of labor, capital and other resources. It also refers to business activity which is concerned with the rising production, processing of products or goods. So what type of goods are these, children? Please make a note here. Want satisfying goods and generation of services also. So it is what type of goods are required, children? Want satisfying goods and generation of services also. Now we move on to the types of industries. Industries are classified into two broad categories, children. Two broad categories. They are primary industries and secondary industries. So industries are of two broad categories. One is primary, other one is secondary. Primary is first in order, secondary is second in the order. Let us take up the primary industries first. Primary industries are those industries involved with the production of goods mainly with the help of nature. For example, mining, agriculture, forestry, fishing, etc. So you must understand that primary industries are those industries which are first in the order, those industries which are involved in the production of goods mainly with the help of nature. Example, mining, agriculture, forestry, fishing, etc. Primary industries are further divided into two types, subdivision. One is extractive industry, other one is genetic industry. So primary industries are further divided into two types. One is extractive industry, second one is genetic industry. First is extractive industry. As the name goes, you must understand, these industries are those industries which are involved with the extraction extraction or production of wealth from soil, air, water, and from Earth's interior. Products of extractive industries are used by manufacturing and construction industries. So one industry supplies raw material for the other industry. Extractive, by the name itself you can understand, children. Extractive industries are those industries which depend on natural resources or nature's gifts. Those industries which involve the extraction or production of wealth from soil, air, water, and from Earth's interior. Products of extractive industries are used by manufacturing and construction industries. Here's a small simple flowchart, children, of subdivision of industry. First we start with primary and secondary. Then you have under primary you have extractive and genetics, and secondary we have manufacturing and construction. Let us go through them in detail, children. Continue listening and continue learning. So the next thing is genetic industry. As the name itself, you can understand. Genetics is nothing but breeding of plants and animals. Plants are raised, animals are raised, breeding takes place. So breeding is nothing but multiplication of plants and animals. Genetic industries are those industries involved in the production or multiplying plants and animals with the aim of earning profit from their sale. So genetic industries are those industries which are involved in the reproduction or the multiplying plants and animals with the aim of earning profits from their sale. For example, cattle breeding, cattle rearing, poultry, farming, seedlings, there's nurseries, seedlings and plants, etc. Easy to understand, children. So first you have seen extractive industry under primary, then you have seen genetic industries under primary. Then we'll go to secondary industries. Secondary industries are second in the order. These industries are where human labor play a very important role than nature. In the first case, primary, nature plays important role. In secondary industries, human labor, manual labor, working plays a very important role. So secondary industries are those industries where human labor play a very important role than natural gift or natural resources. Secondary industries are further divided into two types as it is in the case of primary industries. First one is manufacturing industry, second one is construction industry. Manufacturing industries. So you must understand, children, first of all, please note a point here. Manufacturing industries are those industries which is involved in the transforming raw material into finished goods with the help of men, material, machine, money, etc. There you had land, labor, capital, and material. So I'm just replacing them with the other words called men for labor, machine, material, money, etc. So manufacturing industries are those industries which are involved in the transforming raw material into finished goods with the help of men, material, money, and machines. Manufacturing industries refers to activities involved with the creation of farm utility. Farm, what does that farm mean here? Converting the raw material into finished goods. Conversion of raw material into finished goods is known as farm utility. For example, conversion of raw cotton into cotton textiles, raw jute into jute, sugar from sugarcane, etc. Please note down, children. Under manufacturing industries, it is further divided into 4 types. Manufacturing industries are further divided into 4 types. They are analytical industry, synthetic, processing, assembly line industry. Please make a note, children. All these are new to you. Manufacturing industries are subdivided into 4 types further. Analytical industries, synthetic industry, processing industry, assembly line industry. The first one, let us take analytical. By the name itself, you can understand, children. Analyzing, analytical. Analytical industries refers to those manufacturing industries which produce goods by analyzing, separating, same basic raw materials into different products. Same basic raw materials into different products. Same basic raw materials into different products. For example, oil refining and producing petrol, diesel, kerosene, lubricating oil, etc. So, taking one raw material and deriving various byproducts from it, an analytical industry. Second one is synthetic industry. Synthetic industries, as the name suggests, synthetic industries refers to those manufacturing industries where various materials are combined together to produce new products. It is quite opposite to the first one, analytical, synthetic. Synthetic is nothing but those industries where materials are combined together to produce new products. For example, cement produced by combining many materials such as concrete, gypsum, coal, etc. So you get cement industry, for example, or many things put together to make up one product or one article. You must know this, children. Then processing industry. Processing industries are those industries which where the raw materials are processed into finished goods. For example, textile industry, from cotton textile or juice textile, whatever the raw material is. Paper industry from the pulp industries, etc. So processing industry. Fourth one is assembly line industry. This is very strange one, children. Assembly line industry. Those manufacturing industries where different component parts are assembled into finished products. For example, automobile. So the various parts are put together to make up one automobile or a kind of a motorbike. Even, for example, television, for example, many parts are put together to make up one set as product. So we got four subdivisions under manufacturing industries. The first one is analytical. Example taken here is producing oil and its byproducts. Synthetic is nothing but combining various raw materials and getting one product out of it. For example, cement. Processing is nothing but converting the raw materials into finished goods quickly. Textile industry, paper industry. Assembly line is nothing but taking the different components and assembling them together to get a finished product. For example, automobile, television industry, etc. The second main type of secondary industry is construction industry, which is very, very popular. Construction. So it's nothing, those industries or those activities which are concerned with the creation of infrastructure. That means big buildings, multi-story buildings, skyline, all kind of buildings. Children, construction industries refers to those activities or manufacturing industries where the creation of infrastructure necessary for economic development take place. Infrastructure. I'll tell you, children, school is very important. To have such a big school, such as our school, the New Cambridge school, takes a lot of things to be done. You must understand, to have such a big building with so many number of classrooms and so many other facilities, ground around, a garden around, play school around, everything is there, children, so that you can understand. This comes under infrastructure. So unless proper infrastructure is provided, there cannot be any development, be it education or be it economic development. For example, construction of buildings, roads, dams, canals, bridges, railway lines, etc. These industries use products of manufacturing industry and extractive industries for their activities. As I told you earlier, children, one industry complements to the other, or one industry supplements to the other. So industries are all interconnected and interrelated. So the product of one industry acts as a raw material for other industry. The raw material of other industry acts as a product for other industry. So you must understand this. One more point you can add here, children. Construction industries involved in constructing not only construction of houses and bridges, dams and canals, railway lines, but also fabricating work. Nowadays, fabrication is very important, children. Aluminium fabrication, creating a lot of chambers and kind of nowadays everything is sophisticated, children. Fabrication is also very important work. That also comes under construction industry. So you have understood there are four type of subdivisions of manufacturing industry and one construction industry with various examples. Now we'll move on to the next one. Industries, classification of industries on the basis of nature, technology, and on the basis of quality and goods supply. Industry may be classified into two categories, children, on the basis of nature and technology, quality of goods produced as follows. Under this, you got two sections, heavy industry, light industry. One is opposite to the other. If you understand one type, you can understand the other type very easily. On the basis of nature and technology, and quality of goods produced. Two types of industries are to be studied. One is heavy industry, other one is light industry. As the name goes, heavy industries refers to those industries which are engaged in the production of capital goods. So you get the word heavy, huge, more, and all this. So heavy industries refers to those industries which are engaged in the production of capital goods. Earlier we have seen what are capital goods. So it is nothing but producer goods. These industries require for a huge capital investment and complex production technology. So huge capital investment and complex production technology are used in heavy industry. For example, iron and steel. It's a very highly complicated, sophisticated industry, children. To produce iron and steel, it takes a lot of things to be huge capital, more number of workers, more investment, all kind of production technology, science and technology, all kind of sophistications are required. Even for power, generation of coal, shipbuilding, aircrafts, airlines, etc. All this come under heavy industries. So I told you earlier, children, please keep this in mind, that four important M, we can say, men, money, material, machine. These four play a very important role in every industry. If they are more and heavy, they come under heavy industries. Examples you've seen. Opposite to that is light industry. So what is light industry? Refers to those industry which is engaged in the production of consumer goods, light goods. Light industry requires for a low capital investment and simple production technology. Opposite to heavy industries. For example, food products, stationery, cosmetics, jewelry, light electronic goods, etc. So opposite of heavy industry is light industry. Now we move on to study classification of industries on the basis of size and amount of investment. On the basis of size and amount of investment, there are two children, small scale industry and large scale industry. Medium scale will not take because medium scale comes in between these two. If you can understand small scale and large scale, medium scale is understood. Now first thing, small scale industry. Small scale industries refers to industries run with compact small size, lesser investment of capital, use of simple technology, limited coverage from market, etc. So you must understand, children, these type of industries, please make a note here. These type of industries run by sole proprietor or even by partnership concerns. So a small scale industry is very close to light industry. Large scale industry is close to heavy industry. One more point you can add, children, please write down. It's very important. As a rule, investment in plant and machinery does not, if it does not exceed 1 crore, it comes under small scale industry. So what is the criteria to create a difference between small scale and large scale? The first most important is investment in plant and machinery. If the investment in plant and machinery does not exceed 1 crore, those industries come under small scale. These are important in country like India, where more labor and less capital is available. We got more number of people, but only thing lacking is money. So in India, small scale industries should be developed well. It can help in the development of the country as a whole. Now we'll move on to the next one, large scale industry. Large scale industries are those industries which use more capital intensive techniques of production, means huge techniques of production than small scale industry. Huge amount of capital is invested for producing different goods on a large scale to cater to wider market. Wider market, why? Because they produce varied categories of goods, many goods. So as I told you, large scale industries are closer to heavy industries. Small scale industries are closer to light industries. Here they use more capital intensive techniques of production, small scale than the small scale industries. You must understand this, children. Huge amount of capital is invested for producing different or varied categories of goods. For example, cement, petrochemicals, automobile industries, etc. Then they come under large scale industries. So two important points, children, you must note down. Here the criteria to say large scale industry is the cost of investment in plant and machinery should exceed about 5 to 7 crores. Should agree to exceed about 5 to 7 crores. That is the criteria. Here they use more capital, more number of workers. Everything is used just like the heavy industries. Now we move on to understand meaning and role of commerce. So it's very important for you to understand this, children. Commerce, I'm going to tell you commerce. I've already told you the evolution of commerce. So commerce as a part of business engaged in activities which help in the sale, transfer or exchange. Exchange is nothing but free and smooth. What is exchange, children? I told you earlier. Exchange is nothing but buying and selling of goods and services. So what type of exchange we require? Free and smooth exchange with removal of hindrances. If there are hindrances, you should remove it. So that helps commerce to a large extent. So exchange of goods and services. What type of exchange? What type of transfer? What type of sale is required? Free and smooth exchange, sale, transfer with the removal of hindrances is very important. Commerce involves activities such as which ensure free flow of goods and services between producers and consumer. Who is a producer? One who makes goods. And who is a consumer? One who buys goods. So making and selling, making and buying is very important, children. The basic aim of commerce is to ensure supply of goods at right place, in proper quantities, at the right time, when they are demanded. Please remember this, children. So the basic aim of commerce is to ensure supply of goods at the right place, in proper quantities at the right time, when they are demanded. So let me wind up, children, today's class. So you must understand that we have run out of time. Let's recapitulate once again. So what are the things which you have studied here? Children, let me recapitulate once again. Please give me a second. So all that we have studied for today, children, we started to understand industry, types of industries, the features of industry, various classifications of industries. So we have taken industries are broadly classified into primary industries and secondary industries. Primary industries have got 2 subdivisions, and secondary industries have got 2 major subdivisions. But under one subdivision, that is manufacturing industries, we have got 4 important types of industries, which is nothing but analytical, synthetical, processing, and assembly line. All these are very important for you to know, children. We will do the rest of the units in the next session. Until then, stay safe, protected, and motivated. God bless. Thank you, children. Thank you.